Today, I'm bringing you a new right-wing product from WY Studio. The Sprite V2 was actually tested with the V1 hooked up. Indeed, at that time it was considered a great choice among global entities. It's been half a year since then. How is this VR performing? Let's take a look. The exterior still features a squashy shell with fist shapes, half-head axis. This time, the light guide column should also be emitted along with the surrounding body. If you want to use it, you need to install it yourself. The Kaishu piles have hardly changed. Trigger stroke. From 1.8 to 2.0 it became a standard. This triggers the linear axis that appears early. In terms of appearance, the V1 version and the previous two are the smooth V2 version. The previous number 2 is engraved with the Huemu Core logo, which is still easy to identify. From the photography comparison segment, you can tell this V2 version is clearly a bit more subdued than V1, although the overall tone is still a muted tone, but it really does have to be a bit stuffy. That's because the V2 version's axle pillar is located on the bottom surface. From V1, a relatively large arc at the bottom, it was changed to a small prominent hemispherical shape. So the sound is a bit muffled, and the feel has been replaced with Huamengzi. After optimization, the mold shaft stability will be slightly worse compared to the old version, so the feel isn't as tight. The old version was a bit tight. However, the characteristic of the Mani finger in all server regions is that it's extremely slippery. It's that kind of sleek feeling. The new version's on-court plan hasn't changed, but when the frame size is enlarged, it feels a bit loose. Overall, the feel is quite excellent. It doesn't have the strange tactile feel of being stuck by a few people. Compared to the frequent updates and iterations of sword techniques, the distinctive features of the Grey Jupiter switch from several periods are quite distinctive. During the Sprite Continent V1 era, things had eased up a bit, but the needle-like hydraulic feel still remains. At that time, this full-set Jume was very fresh, thermophilized paper, gives the switch a very smooth feel. It's a relatively fresh experience. It is said to be sandy and slippery. That is also dream transformation. If you say it's slick, nor does it have that flavor. Say it's dry and refreshing. But the smoothness brought by that grease is still very noticeable. It's quite hard to describe. And this VR version is Huemu Core. The latest current plan is to release a certain amount of the most obvious improvement is the improved feel in hand. Can be said, the feel is basically unrelated to the old version of the Huemu Core. But if you want to say it's okay after enlarging the frame and the frame size, the most obvious issue is that noise control is not as good as before. Because the shaft shape offers more room for movement. Maybe in the dark, angle a bit off, or the court isn't very consistent. You will hear the sound of oil paper, or the shaft shape and frame size are the main factors. Everyone likes to say it's the spatial layer. This is the type of noise. This is the unavoidable feel and sound at the moment. Nor could he have it all. Next is the Grey Star switch. Currently, the only ones built after construction exceeding 3.5-3.6. It has a strong sense of spring motion, so it's fine for BVR to learn. Around 3.6 years old, the construction isn't very obvious yet, so it's not worth worrying about. The Snowboat V2 actually performs quite well. The newly released noise is also compared to the V1 version. You can hear a subtle difference. Taken alone, it still has a very strong noise control level so far. Luan's minor issues can basically be solved once you log in. The fist case RGB fans are ecstatic, and the mid-range sound isn't sharp, not harsh, and the feel is pretty good. If you need it, feel free to add it. Further understanding of the studio's materials. That's all for this video. Thank you all for watching our next video. See you in the next video.